I may take your order.
Yeah. Hello, mommy. Go ahead and get a large coffee.
All right.
Black.
Anything else?
Hold on, I'm just glassing here. Nah, that's it.
$1.59.
Alright, thanks, James.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed that little drive-through prank. If you did, you should listen to the podcast Your Mom's House. It's a great podcast with Tom Segura and his wife. But anyways, it's time for the intro. In this episode of Discourse of Human Events, we talk about the best jobs for an alcoholic, proper street begging techniques, why the corporate world sucks, how currency works and why it needs to be fungible. Yes, that's a real word. Why Bird is fat. And last, Nick and I discuss our strategies to office-space a job. Enjoy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look and feel.
Right. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Dildos!
Hold on, let's do that again, because,
Oh, you fucking kidding me. That was good dildo. I had a good dildo there.
that was a
That's
particularly good dildo. You need to keep that dildo.
I'm looking at, like, the spike in the audio thing, and it was, like, it's at the top. The very tip
Does
top.
it look like a dildo?
Oh, yeah. I think some women would be satisfied with that.
Wait, what?
Chloe? Doctor?
I don't think so.
No, let's do our dildos again. We need a proper dildo intro.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Dildos! Alright, now we can begin thusly.
Awesome.
All right. So,
So we're talking about diversifying your bonds, nigga?
yeah. I don't know if that's the most
You probably need to
interesting
edit it
subject
out
for a
that part.
podcast.
It is if you do it like Wu-Tang.
I get the reference. But, yeah. What else were we talking about? Good careers for alcoholics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good topic.
So,
That is a good career.
Salesman, like you said,
choice.
where you can set your own
Sales-
schedule. That's good.
That seems like the optimal because you need that one sale and then you're good for a while for most sales jobs. You know, you land that one big account or that one big sale and then you can just kind of coast for a while.
Yeah, then that's like you get your drinking budget and a check every month.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I feel like the most common trajectory, at least for severe alcoholics, is to go on the street and be like, hey, I need $1.
Professional
Hey.
change beggar.
Yeah. I mean, I assume they're all at least alcoholics.
Yeah, I would assume so too.
Because they set their own schedule,
That's
too.
the
Although,
cheapest thing
I
you
don't
can
know.
buy.
They might do more than alcohol, though.
it's not exactly
Well, he said at
setting your
least
own
alcohol.
schedule, though.
Okay.
Because they gotta be there when there are people there, you know?
Yeah.
They gotta figure out a good location.
There are
Sunny
optimal
spot.
times to do that, and I had noticed that in Columbus, driving around.
Yeah.
If it's
I
raining,
remember-
people will come out, because then they can look kind of pathetic. If it's cold, they'll come out.
Oh, I see.
You gotta work it, man.
Yeah.
What they gonna do if it's nice and sunny out?
I do see them a lot less in summertime. Only during, like, those optimal, like, 4:30, 5:30 times, you know?
But they're just like any other salesman, though. They're working their pitch. Like, you ever take one beggar aside and be like, all right, man, you got me buying it somewhat, but I'll tell you what, you really got to make me feel those tears.
Like, how hungry are you really? Like,
I can tell you just ate an hour, alright? I ain't buying it.
Motherfucker, you got ketchup on your lip. You just ate a McDonald's. I know it.
I can smell it. There's a double cheeseburger right there.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much 90% of what it is, right? They're just there to get money for drugs.
Yeah.
It's just for a quick score.
Yep.
There is a
And it
weird
works.
one at Easton, like right across from Easton, that little plaza where I work at.
Mhm. Yeah.
every now and then there's like a family there. So it's like a mom, dad, and like they have a couple children. And in my head, I'm wondering like, is this even their children? Are they like babysitting and just utilizing these kids for growth potential?
That's a great business idea. I want to have a beggar kid rental service. Rent these kids to help you beg.
So is it illegal to beg?
Increase profits by 80% with children.
It's like a market strategy.
That's terrible.
You'd think, like, if you're on the street with kids begging, like,
It's gonna
children's
increase.
services would be like, and we're gonna take them.
You can't take your kids for that though.
I feel like you should be able to.
No, it's actually pretty hard to
let's
take
make
kids
very convincing
from their
arguments.
parents. Like, that's why heroin addicts actually still have their kids. They have to do some kind of, like, major neglect and be able to prove it. And just ask mom. It's not, like, super easy to take a kid away from a parent.
Yeah.
They have to be, like, not feeding the kid, you know what I mean? It has to be pretty severe. Or abusing the kid. They can't just be, like, begging on the street corner with their kid. That's not gonna...
I mean, I get, like, you should have strong controls so people can't just take other
Exactly.
people's fucking kids. But, like, if you have objective proof that someone's going out on the street and using their kids for begging, like, you know that person
But
isn't
what's
exactly
worse
using
for
their
a kid-
welfare for good purposes. You know, they're not...
Yeah.
They're not spending their welfare on food for the children. They might have other.
But so
things
that's the
they're
thing.
Priorities.
If you could prove that they aren't getting fed, then you could take the kids away. If they're being fed, they can't really do anything about that.
What
Right?
if the kids just tell you, like, this is my
Yeah.
summer internship?
My internship? I'm a fucking 5-year-old.
I'm learning lots of stuff.
Fucking toddler
I mean,
and his internship.
it's not entirely inaccurate. The next people, the next generation on that street begging the same way are those kids.
Did you see that post on Reddit about internships?
No, what?
It was some company that was fighting against slavery and how like they
Slavery.
yeah, it was something weird about slavery, but then they were looking for an internship, and so it was like a really an unpaid internship. But they were like fighting against like the history of slavery, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
It was a very ironic
Oh, the type
Pose.
of people.
It's like, do you not
Well-
realize you're kind of...
But in a further irony, though, isn't it somewhat ironic that the person that goes and, like, wants that internship but thinks it's ironic that they're not going to get paid is sitting there complaining with a full stomach, like,
Yeah.
obviously has no problems in the world while, you know, real slaves are probably starving to death and being beaten for the slightest infraction.
Right.
But...
They just sit around and
Yeah,
collect a
probably
wage
yeah.
check.
Yeah.
But
But yes,
a lot of
yes,
do
you
interns
should-
struggle. It's not like it's necessarily like they're living...
I know,
Of course,
they
it's
do-
not slavery, but...
Yeah, they're not, like, beating them when they fuck up their coffee order.
But to me, it doesn't make sense that internships are allowed. Like
Well, unpaid.
yeah, that's what I mean by internships, unpaid internships.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no other kind of job where you can just work for free. You have to, if you call it an internship, all of a sudden it's legal.
Mhm.
But otherwise, like, it would be considered illegal if you don't call it an internship. So what's special about an internship? Is there some other, like, legal requirements to make it an internship?
Yeah.
No,
They're-
it's just a term
No.
invented by the employers
No.
that they can
Invented by the
do-
man.
No. There are actual if you want
Guidelines?
an unpaid internship, yeah, it cannot contribute to the bottom line of the business.
Ah.
Like
so you
that's the
can't,
actual.
you can't have an
Creating
internship
value.
of somebody working on a factory line.
Yeah, you
No.
can't do that.
So that's why internships are always bitch work.
Yeah.
It's literally
I
all they
see.
can do.
Yeah.
That
That's
actually
exactly it.
kind of makes sense now.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny that when we hire interns, because it's such a long process to have somebody go through security trainings to get access to things. Most of the time, they'll end up doing something really irrelevant.
Yeah, but yours is different. It's paid.
Yeah, it's
And
paid.
it
Yeah,
but
paid
even still,
internship's a whole nother thing.
mine at the bank that I worked at was still completely worthless.
Yeah.
Like, because people know you're only going to be there for 3 months,
Uh-huh.
and like, to do that job, it probably takes at least 3 months training.
But why would
So
you
they-
even do an internship at a bank? I don't get it.
Well, depending on if they have the budget, they might actually hire you on.
Oh. So
But
it's
see,
like
at-
could lead to a job, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at my internship, they knew they weren't going to be able to hire me.
Really?
So essentially,
How do you find out that part? That they wouldn't be able to hire you?
just one of the people told me.
Oh,
But was it paid?
Yeah, it was paid.
Oh, okay.
because of headcount?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were, I mean, their system
Because of
was
head
blown
cunts.
away. Head count. But essentially, because everyone knew,
My English is beautiful, don't judge me.
like, I wasn't coming back, no one trained me on anything. And, like, I remember my internship just being so weird because I kept coming in every day
Yeah.
wondering what I should do. Like, I just sat there for 8 hours a day getting paid.
Dude, were
Like,
you
that sounds
fucking
like-
big head?
Kinda.
You were pulling a big head just coming into work and you didn't actually have
Yeah.
a job to do?
This was my very first interaction with the corporate world. I've now gotten
So
used
weird.
to, like, the big corporate world where,
They don't do much.
like, not doing anything isn't that unusual.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of bullshit in politics.
Beautiful.
But before, you know, I had worked at a grocery store and at a warehouse distribution where you got fucking things to do, and if you're not doing
Yeah.
them, they're gonna fire you.
You immediately get yelled at as soon as you stop doing shit.
Exactly, but I show up here and it's like, it's just subtle and ambiguous, like I have no clearly defined goals, and I'm like talking to people, but it feels weird to ask, like, it feels weird to say something like, I haven't done anything for the last 3
Yeah.
weeks. Should I be working on anything?
That's what I
Or do you
feel
just
like.
want to keep sending the paychecks to me?
Because I'm look cool
Like,
with
I really
it.
want to ask that question, but it feels like you shouldn't.
Yeah. It literally is a big head situation where you're like, so what exactly do I do here? You're like, you're on a sign.
And the thing is, like, that internship was extreme in that, but throughout my corporate career, it's been periods of the same sort of,
Yeah.
Situation?
what am I getting paid for again?
Yes.
But never
I
as
get
bad
it.
as that.
So-
At that point, it was
Yeah.
nothing. I had nothing to do.
The one desk job I had was like that. There'd be days where I literally did nothing today. Like I'd stop and pause to think about it, and I was like, I browsed Reddit. I worked on a board game for about 6 hours. I didn't do anything. No actual work. But-
Yeah.
You guys. After I joined this job, I haven't browsed Reddit a single day.
Kidding? There's not a single day I don't browse Reddit at work now. Every day. I at
You
least hit Reddit
Asians and your
once.
work ethic.
I know.
I have
Crazy.
shared office, man.
So I
Do you have cubicles?
No.
No.
You share an office with 3 people, right? Or two
with
other
two
people.
other people.
2 other people. All right.
Uh-huh. That's not.
Now-
yeah, that's different.
No. Here's the thing. And my years of experience, I've gotten so brazen that I have an open floor plan. It is nothing but people all around me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are 3 people on my right, there's 1 person on my left, there's 4 people across from
You don't
me,
have a
there's
cubicle either?
5, not anymore. I used to have a cubicle at the bank I worked at. But now it's just a completely open floor plan. There are just people walking around all the time. I don't give a shit. I still bring up Reddit and just browse it. They know. I don't care.
Do you see other people doing the same thing though? All around you?
Some are more subtle about it. Some aren't.
But isn't it funny you say they're more subtle about it, but it's like you do see it.
I
You
know
know.
I know they're not doing it. I feel like a lot of people, instead of browsing Reddit, are more social than I am, and they'll waste their time just talking to other people. They'll go get coffee and they'll be gone for like a fucking hour.
I wasted a lot of time at my desk job doing that. There was definitely times where I would just be like talking to. We would go on a smoke break. I didn't smoke. I just drank coffee. But we'd be on a smoke break for like a half hour, an hour, and we'd be like,
an hour.
we should probably like get back to work.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Modern economy's weird, man.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It's just like, feels like when I was at the grocery store or the warehouse, like I was accomplishing, like I could sit there and be like, look, I
I
shipped
did
those
this.
boxes. I put that milk
Yeah.
out for, like, somebody needed to do something for that.
The milk was
But
empty.
at the-
I made it not empty anymore.
Yeah, but like so many jobs that I've done in the corporate world, it's like, if I weren't here, what would be different? I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's the problem with corporate jobs too. Is they want you there for the whole 8 hours, and it's like, do they not know that you're not needed there for the whole 8 hours?
Yeah.
So what would be the difference if they paid you maybe slightly less, but they only needed you to come in for 2 hours?
Yeah, and if you're a software engineer like us, like, why do we even need to be there, period?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
like,
even a bigger point.
It's
I could
not
do this
like when you
in my
talk to
home,
other people.
in my underwear, like, and I not only would I do it, I would do it better.
Yeah.
I constantly hear people fucking talking behind me, making a bunch of noise, bullshitting, calling worthless meetings, doing completely non-related work that has no effect on anything.
Yep. So have you ever read the 4-Hour Work Week?
No, I've heard about it a lot.
He has a whole plan set into place for making it to where if you're stuck in a corporate job like that, to making it where you can work like completely off-site at home. And he has like this whole plan laid out where you like first you plan it just like one day. So you just convince your boss, give you 1 day to work from home, give them some kind of extreme circumstance for why you need this day off, and you get that 1 day. And that 1 day you get off, you work your fucking ass off, and you produce like you worked 8 hours straight. So when you come back, you can be like, like I took that day off and I wasn't distracted at the office. I got a lot of stuff done. And you show them that can I go ahead and work from home for like a couple days a week and see how it goes? And then you get those 2 days off, and then you work your ass off for like a month straight for those 2 days when you're at home, and then you go back to your boss and you're like, well, you see, like every day that I'm in the office, I'm not getting anything done, and when I'm at home, I get all this stuff done. And then eventually you work your way to where you just work from home, and then you can slack off. So it's like this whole like plan he has set up to get to that point.
Yeah, it could backfire though. If you have other people relying on your stuff and you didn't meet the deadline, that could seriously go wrong.
But that would
you
be.
Still gotta work.
But you should be making your deadlines though. His point is, like, once you're working all from home, you can do it, like Nick's saying. At the office, he might work 2 hours in an 8-hour day. Now he can do that from home.
That sounds like a good plan, but it's too rational and too logical. It makes too much sense in, like, an idealistic world.
Yeah.
In the real world, it's hard to implement. I'll give you an example with my current job.
Okay.
I don't even know who my boss is.
You don't even know who you ask permission for this?
I'm serious, I don't.
So who do you report to then? How do they know you've clocked in?
Email.
Okay, now, technically, I have a manager who is in the office.
Okay.
That's not my actual manager. I've said maybe 2 words to this person in the last month.
Yes.
That's a lot.
So I have another, I guess, technical lead. He's in Australia. He's an Australian.
Okay. Like he's literally in Australia though.
Yes.
So he's working from home.
Yeah, he comes in once every 6 weeks.
That's still
I would say I
frequent.
talk to him once every 2 days or so, just like maybe a couple messages.
But like a
chat
teleconference
messages.
or a chat room though.
Just a chat room, a couple sentences.
So somebody's already working from home. Why can't you?
He's been there for like a decade. Mm-hmm. And he was there until he wanted to go back to Australia. So you built that, like a decade's worth of work. Again, I don't even know who I'd ask.
Okay, so here's my real question. Say tomorrow you don't show up to work. Mm-hmm. Who's going to contact? Who's going to know that you didn't show up, and who's actually?
Oh no! I think I could.
Let's say you don't show up to work for a whole week, but that whole week you get work done. What happens to you? Can you fucking office space your current job? See what happens?
I'm thinking it over. So I'm on a contract. I'm a contractor. And after 6 months, they decide whether or not to renew me. I'm waiting till the 6 months before I start implementing, because they'll renew another 6 months, and I'll be there a year, right? Yeah. And I only want to be there a year total. Okay. So I want 6 months, I basically have good attendance, I get all my stuff done, and then they renew that 6-month contract.
But who's taking your attendance?
And then
That's what I don't
spacing.
fucking get.
Nobody.
Who pays you? How do you get paid? Do you not have to clock in or clock out? It's just since
No,
you're a
of course
contract, you're expected to be there? What do you mean, of course not? That's like 90% of the world is clock in, clock
I don't
out.
clock anything.
Uh,
I put in enter my own time and no one checks it.
okay, that's what we mean by clock in, clock out, entering your own time.
Yeah, but like no one.
But it's tracked somehow. Your time is tracked, but you're the one who tracks it.
Yes,
So you could work from home,
Mm-hmm.
and if nobody said anything, like how social are you with everybody? Would it be like, hey, Nick hasn't showed up today? Like,
No. I have vanished for a couple hours before and no one said anything.
d-
I had to go and get my license renewed.
yeah.
Or not get my California license since I'm new to California.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, in Ohio it took me 30 minutes. It actually ended up taking like 2.5 hours in California.
That's just incompetence.
So I was just gone for 2.5 hours. Never said a word to any of my coworkers.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit because nobody knew or cared that you were gone.
And this was at the end of the day, like 2 o'clock. And
It's the
then,
middle of the day.
yeah, well, I mean, so after 2.5 hours, it was the end of the day, 4:30.
Right.
So I said, fuck it, I'll just go home.
Uh-huh.
Came back the next day, nothing. I mean,
Okay.
I clocked 8 hours as if I was there the whole time. By the way, this never happened officially.
Yeah.
Officially, I worked 8 hours.
Yeah, of course. Of
But
course.
no, of course not. No one ever...
So let's say this: you get your renewal, so you don't care about your job, and you want to office space this thing.
That's my plan, actually. That's my plan right now.
Don't show up. If anybody says anything, and you're doing the work because you're doing the work at home, are they really going to say anything if your work's done?
Yeah, the funny part is the people that are actually in my office
Yeah.
wouldn't even know whether my or not my work was done.
But
All the people... So there
this
are
is so
also
confusing.
Okay, we're an
to
international
corporate world.
company, so
Yeah.
most of my coworkers are in Boulder, Colorado.
So they're
Okay.
working from a different location. So your
Yeah,
actual
but my
coworkers don't even work with you.
Yes, but my manager, my technical manager is in San Jose, but he's not really, doesn't manage anything for me.
Okay. So really you could test this every day, just don't show
Well,
up for
what
1 hour
difference?
longer.
Yeah.
So like the one day that didn't happen where you're gone for 2 hours, maybe another day try to be gone for 3 hours. Or just leave say you're supposed to leave at 4, leave at 1.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
think
no, I mean, occasionally I do just leave at like 4.
oh man, you rebel.
No, but I go in at 10.
Oh,
and I clock
shit.
8 hours.
Okay, I got you.
And, I don't know, and this is me trying to get renewed.
So that's kind of what was funny with the company I worked at, because we wrote our own timesheets.
Yeah.
So of course there was fuckery afoot with the timesheets. Like, yeah, of course I came in today at 9 o'clock. But we actually had managers that would kind of monitor it. You couldn't lie about like 3 hours. It's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And over a week that adds up. Whereas you can just fucking like notch off 3 or 4 hours a day.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't even know who approves my timesheets. I assume somebody does.
The corporate world's so fucked. It's almost worth it for me to get a corporate job just to see how long I can hold it while trying to tank it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't need the job.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's actually a good idea.
It'd be fun
I'd
to
go
just
for it.
get one and then just see how long it lasts. I would like fucking document it. Just be like, today, like I sat here and I did nothing. And literally like just, if somebody asked me to do something, just be like, yeah, I'll get right on that. And not do it. And just see how long I can last.
Depending on where you are, I mean, it's very dependent on like the circumstances, but it could happen.
Yeah.
So, if you ever read Scott Adams, the guy that writes Dilbert,
Yeah.
as part of his research for his comic, he got another job as like a manager. I think somehow he worked it out with a fan to like put him in as a manager.
Yeah.
And he wrote about how he just fucked around the whole time. He like went in there as a manager and started talking about chickens and describing it as like within this workplace how the work is similar to chickens.
Oh my God.
And just like he just tried to fuck around with it as much as humanly possible.
Oh my god.
Just to play with it.
Dude, I'm seriously considering getting a part-time job just to fuck with it.
Yeah, do it. It'd be hilarious.
Why not? Like, what do I have to lose? I might get a fucking paycheck for a week for fucking around. This will be interesting. This will be something, if I do it, I'll document it on the podcast. Okay, so here's what happened today, guys.
That would... yeah, I would think like after a month or something...
Yeah.
Like, you have a podcast, nothing about the crazy shit. Or, like, until you get fired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It'd be
Like, just
great
update it every
podcast.
week. So, I think I might have to do this. This is just too much entertainment value we're missing here.
Oh,
Here.
such a great idea.
Wonderful.
Zach tanks his job.
Oh, I forgot about the other crazy shit I do at my workplace.
What?
What?
So I have my own side projects,
Yeah.
and I work on them there.
Yeah, I assumed that.
You know my Android game, Pew Pew Pew?
Yeah.
That was entirely written, not at this workplace, but another workplace in Ohio. I wrote the whole thing
Yeah.
there. They
That's
paid me to
awesome.
write my own little
So,
side project.
that's what I was talking about at my previous job, where I would design a board game for like 4 hours. I'd work on whatever current design I have. I'd work
Yeah.
on that. Because it would just be on Google Drive. I'd just bring it up and work on the rules and stuff I could work at from there. And I was actually allowed to bring in my laptop to work because I had stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was glorious. I had my Photoshop and my Illustrator so I could do all that shit. That's where I learned half of my game design.
Nice.
So
So crazy.
it just goes to show corporate world needs to restructure how they do things. And
I just don't understand how it goes on. Like, I guess they just get, like... So, like, once you have a product that just prints money,
yeah.
you just start hiring people, and the people in charge just don't have enough time to look at, like, are these people really doing shit?
Yeah.
Like, they just, like, whatever, as long
But
as
they
the thing
created
keeps
the
printing money.
position. Why do they need the position? There needs to be something to be done. Is it getting done?
No idea.
You know what I mean? Like, how's that
Eventually,
happen?
but, like, they need, like, one person, but they hire 10, and it's one person. Eventually, they do it.
Oh, fuck. You know the only thing that's going to hinder me? Because I avoid corporate jobs? They all drug test. Actually, well, I only smoke like once a week.
No.
Maybe.
No, I didn't.
At most.
I didn't get drug tests.
Yeah, but
Well,
you
we're in
work at
California,
a loose
yeah.
company. Let's just put it that way. We won't name
We're
the
in
company,
California, they're like, you know.
Yeah.
but you work at a company that was famous for a CEO who dropped acid to come up with ideas. So
Yeah. It would be really ironic if they drug tested.
yeah,
That's not gonna end well.
yeah,
I
they,
think it
they
drug
kind of have a
tested here.
culture.
I really think it's just a California thing. Every
Yeah.
every company I worked at in Ohio, I was drug tested.
Yeah, that's what I
Everyone.
thought. Everywhere.
You're in, yeah.
That's why I like contract job that I have now. Is it's like there's no testing. They don't
shit
fucking
done.
care. Just do your if you don't do your job and you don't get paid. It's all commission. So like, why the fuck do they care if you're smoking weed on the weekends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have no say in it. They don't care.
Hmm?
This is the way most. There's something
That's-
weird with how companies are run, and that's one of the big issues. Is there's no real oversight.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing where, like, so if I go into a restaurant or something or wherever, and I see workers busting ass,
Mm-hmm.
like really trying to work hard and get shit done, on one level, I feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, I did fucking nothing this week, and I got paid, like,
Tons
Way
of
more
money.
than they-
yeah, way more than you. But on the other hand, it feels like I wasted my entire week. I
Yeah.
produced nothing.
Uh-huh.
I have a soulless corporate job where I go in wondering what my purpose in life is.
Passive effort.
That's
Exactly.
It's so true. Like when I worked at a fast food restaurant recently, after working a desk job, there were days where I felt better than I did working a desk job, just because I felt like I actually did something. Yeah, all I did was serve people fast food, but it felt like I actually accomplished something.
Exactly. It's a weird, I don't know, a weird feeling.
Sensation.
Taking away your soul is about the way to put it. Like that's what corporations make feel like.
Yeah.
They grab your soul and they take it. They take it away.
But
How dare you have personality, sir?
yeah, that's another thing.
You will
I
be a
always feel
lifeless
like
drone.
I'm totally not myself there. Like
You can't be
don't-
completely.
I would never say the shit I'm saying on this podcast. Not even even close.
That was the one thing I did have at the desk job I worked, is I worked with an awesome crew, and that's why a lot of what I would do is just we would dick around and talk. So that was actually the one thing I missed there.
No, it's mostly talking about weather and crap like that at my job.
Dude.
Just like pleasantries.
I have better coworkers than you.
Yeah, she
We
does.
hung out.
They're interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can be themselves, can't they? At their job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because you work
Yeah.
at, once again, a company that's more loose and open to how they operate.
They're known for their creatives.
Yeah.
Like their
Yeah, I guess so.
capacity.
Any kind of creative job has to be a little more open with how their people work. You know, your Chase and your JP Morgans and your banking companies, they're not going to like let you sit there and be creative.
You don't need to.
If you come in a little bit drunk, they're gonna have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when I get my job.
Yeah.
That's experiment number 1. How high can I come in here?
Oh, that'd be great.
Literally just say like, Tony, just listen, I'm so fucking baked right now. Like, can you come back in 10? Like, I need you to just chill.
What would be hilarious is like in a meeting with like 10 people, and they're explaining something, and like you go, whoa, wait, you raise your hand. I'm sorry, but I'm so fucking high right now. Can you just start back from the beginning?
Can you
And
slow
I
down a
need it
bit?
all.
I forgot to pay attention from the beginning. I'm paying attention now. Can we start this all over?
At the point that you're like pretty sure you're gonna get fired, at the next meeting, you go in, you pull out that joint, and you light it.
It's a cigarette, guys. It's legal in California. Fucking prudes. Oh,
Man,
God.
I've going to meetings because the people that I'm talking to have such a thick accent. Even I'm like with 2 cups of coffee, I still don't have much clue what they were talking about.
I've had that situation.
Yeah.
Not at this company. Their English is mostly good.
I don't get that problem. We get that at the restaurant I work at with customers, but I really don't run into that too often.
Oh, the bank, man.
Yeah,
So many-
you probably
like,
had
a
to
lot
deal
of
with
them
that
were
a lot.
actually not even in the U.S. because no one could talk to them anyways. So you'd be on the phone and just be like, "What? What?" Like I'd ask 4 times to them repeat themselves, and it gets so awkward. Like,
Yeah.
how many times can I ask somebody to
Yeah.
repeat themselves without feeling
Especially
like a dick?
after they repeat them twice, and I was like, okay, I guess it's pretty rude to ask you to repeat the 3rd time.
Yeah, but what do you do?
have
Like,
no
you need to
idea.
know what they're saying.
Yeah,
That's true.
and I remember asking someone like A or B question, and their answer was yes. They're like,
problem, sir.
how do I respond? Like, there's not an answer to an A or B.
Yes. You motherfucker. That was not an option. I don't know. That's why I really like the job I have now. Even though it's all commission, it's just like I don't have to deal with that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad it's working for you.
Yeah, so far.
My plan is to make enough money in 10 years that I can just quit. And, like, I'm not going to be, like, just laze about, but, like, I'm never going to be in the corporate world again.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have my own side projects. I'll try to make them work. I'll do whatever. Like,
Well, I mean, that's what we basically said if we all had $1 million. We basically work
Yeah.
on the things we want to work on.
well, it's not the exact same because I don't have an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
I could have my own side projects, but, like, I'm not, like, rich as shit. I can live at my same cost of living with no problem is my plan.
Yeah, that's all I want to be at too, is just be content with where I'm at now, but be able to do what I want to do. So it's like, get this job running up as much money as I can, so then I can set it aside and be more part-time doing that, and do whatever I want with all the free time I have.
What's your plan, Chloe?
Um,
Diversify her bonds.
My whole life. What's that?
She's got to diversify her bonds.
Oh, yeah.
yes. First of all, I need to have 1 bond at least.
Yeah.
Then
You
this
have
diversify.
bonds in your 401k.
Yes. You helped me set it up. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm glad I did that. Wasn't terribly behind. Yeah, it's not ideal to have money sitting on your saving account. Like,
Yeah.
why do you even have a saving account in the first place? But, oh well.
There's other like random investments. So what else would you invest in besides like your stocks?
Um,
In your 401k, obviously retirement, maybe life insurance.
Yeah, this is always where, like, Chloe asked me the same exact question, essentially. Like, what should I invest in, Nick?
Yeah.
And my answer is always, it depends. Your safest bet, always just put it in the S&P 500. That's I don't have to think about it.
What the hell's an S&P 500?
Here,
what?
the S&P 500 is the largest 500 companies in America.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know
But
what an
that's a
index-
stock, though, right? Or a
Not
mutual
exactly.
fund?
Do you know what a stock? Do you know what an index fund is?
Nope.
So you give money to a company that just takes that money and invests in 500 companies. So they take all their money from all those investors and they diversify it over 500.
So I'm familiar with this concept that you're saying, yes.
Yeah. So that's just the idea. So you basically, it's like you're diversifying.
So you're spreading out
Across
the risk
500.
amongst 500 companies.
Yeah.
If you have no idea and you don't want to spend any time or anything like that, just do that. Just buy the S&P 500. There's like Vanguard has an S&P 500.
But I'm
fund.
saying beyond stocks. You're still talking about what's basically a stock because you're investing in a company, right?
Well, that's the basic idea: is don't invest largely in individual stocks. Is invest in highly diversified.
Correct, but I'm saying
Funds.
beyond stocks, what is there? What else would
There
you? could
there
you
are
invest?
bonds.
I said
Okay.
beyond stocks and beyond bonds. What do you invest money in?
Future.
Well, there's that, but those are essentially derived.
You know what I
from
mean?
other
Like,
things.
what
Yeah.
else could you make money
Commodities.
in? Okay. So,
And
like,
then
you
there's-
could buy real estate and...
That's not a
Right.
commodity.
Or is that...
A commodity is like oil,
Gold.
Okay.
wheat. Remember watching?
Sugar.
Yeah, Trading Places.
Yeah.
They traded on the Chicago Board of Trade, I think, but it was basically a commodity. I think they were like trading on orange juice or something, orange juice concentrate.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. And then there's real estate is its own category.
Yeah, real estate can be very risky.
Yeah, and then there's commercial, there's residential, but you don't actually
What would you
just
call
buy
it?
your
Like,
own
buy
real estate.
assets? Or what would you call that, though, if you're buying those sort of things and reselling them? Just investments, I guess, other investments.
Yeah, but again, you don't actually necessarily have to buy real estate.
Yeah.
Like an actual house. You can buy these things called REITs, real estate investment trusts.
Uh-huh.
So again, they're just like the S&P 500. They
Okay.
diversify. They buy a bunch of houses and they get the money.
Basically,
from them.
you're buying
Wow.
shares of the people. who
Yeah, it's
invest in
basically
the real
shares
estate
of
market.
houses. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
And then what's I forget what the other asset class they call it, which is like alternatives or something like that, where they just buy art or like coins or rare items. That's like really risky.
Yeah.
Oh, like the investment in the art market or something like
But
that?
some people might
Collective?
buy that
Just-
because
yeah.
they like it.
Random shit.
It might be an investment, but it's also like, I also like Picasso, so I'll buy $1 million Picasso, you know?
Yeah. But if you're actually having, like, you want to invest, you shouldn't just buy a Picasso yourself. You should buy...
True.
Well,
You should buy
Although-
stocks in Picassos, but spread across multiple Picassos.
although there's one argument that could be made for just buying a Picasso, or rather than buying, like, a fund that invests in commodities, buying gold yourself, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it always comes down to, if the government goes to shit, you still have that Picasso. Whereas, like, if I have a contract that says I have the right to claim, like,
Yeah.
so many grams of gold, if the government is not really working, I can't count on that contract.
Right.
I see what
But
you're
if I
saying,
have
yeah.
gold, and that's why gold still retains its value, actual gold, like...
Because they think if the world goes to shit, that's what people are going to use. Which is,
Yeah.
I think that's so
Yeah.
silly. I don't think if the world goes to shit, like, we're at the point where people would be wanting gold. Like, let's say the world goes to shit tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm not wanting gold. Like, if I have food and you want to give me gold for it, I'm like, fuck you. I don't want your
No,
gold.
that's not the economic
Right?
like
No.
basis of it.
No.
It's that the same reason cigarettes are used in prison. One, it's like
Because they want to use it, though.
No, you still gotta trade even when the world goes to shit. And you need some sort of a currency. The most stable one and retains the value, it's always going to be gold.
Okay, but I feel like it'll take a while for gold to get there.
No, I think people will revert almost immediately to it.
You think
It's
so?
Because it's
I think bartering would happen quicker.
No, once you want to do anything more than bartering, you need a unit of account, and gold has 100,000-year history of that.
Okay. So it's just a convenient currency as well.
Yeah, if you don't have paper money, the next best thing to paper money is gold.
Because gold is really resilient to inflation. If you have paper money, and next day the government goes to shit, and then they print shit ton of money, then your money quickly got inflated into nothing. But if you have gold,
there's a more steady amount of gold across the world.
Right.
Yeah. Although that was proven not as entirely true as people thought when they discovered the Americas and the Spanish started bringing back a shitload of it.
Or Bitcoin.
They actually... Well, again, you have to rely on the internet, electricity, like all that stuff to be working.
You do have to rely on
gold is just basically nothing. But yeah, in the 1500s, they did experience insane inflation when they found the Americas. In like 10,000 years, they had nothing. It was just
because they found a bunch of gold out of nowhere.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, huge influx of it.
So did the Romans then experience that a lot? Because they would like invade entire countries or nations or whatever, and then they would take all their gold and riches and bring them into Rome. So did they have to deal with inflation probably back in those days?
I would think somewhat, but not as much, because I do think that gold was already in the market in a way. Like on the Silk Road, the gold was being exchanged, and eventually gold would find its way from China all the way to Rome.
There's actually one story of that. There's one person that is so rich that as he walks through the Silk Road, he gave his gold essentially to the poor people, which causes great amount of inflation to the small countries along the Silk Road.
Area, yeah.
But
yeah, it shows that the system was, like, that gold was incorporated into the system, even though, you know, the person in Rome would never see the person in China handling the gold. Like, eventually it all flowed back and forth.
Yeah.
I always wondered why gold was used as a currency. I thought it was because people used it, and so that made it a valuable... But then I was like, but why? I can't think of anything I would use gold for except, like, electronics and shit like that.
No, you don't necessarily need a use. There's actually like a tribe that used...
Shells?
No, they used stones. Like particular types of stones. Really big ones that you couldn't carry around before. But like, if people knew you owned this big stone...
Really?
Then that's your stone.
You didn't actually have to move it.
And you could go and trade them. Yeah.
It was almost like you had stock in a stone.
Yeah, essentially you have the stone as a backing for your stock. But the thing is, they are in a closed economy.
Yeah.
That's why those stones are valuable.
So you could never inflate them. You could never make more.
That's why they can...
Well, you could, but you would have to approve, okay, now this is a new stone that we will accept.
You'd have to get the whole of society to agree on it, or
at least
the person you're trading with.
What was like the population for the stone economy?
I'd have to look this shit up. This is something I read a while ago.
It sounds familiar, but for some reason I was thinking shells. Man, I'm mixing it up with another tribe that used seashells.
Shells was used as a currency in the ancient time.
Okay.
Like, really back then.
I see.
It was after they were trading items with items, but they realized it's not a very good system, and they need some sort of a better way to trade it, and then use the shells. But because shells is such a abundant currency, you can just go to the seashore and pick up a lot. So,
it could be inflated at all times. It was a very poor currency choice. So let's eliminate like the obvious gold. What would be like a really silly thing that you might think would be actually useful as a currency if the world did did turn to shit? What
That would actually be useful?
Yeah. But it's like something silly that you wouldn't think about, but like if you eliminate all the obvious choices like gold and silver, what would be like the next best thing? What would you think?
I gotta think about that for a second.
Oh, that's hard.
I'm looking around my room and I'm thinking like books would be a good one.
But
there's like,
it's got to be
how
a
do you-
commodity.
Yeah, how do you...
You have to have... Yeah, like 1 ounce of gold is the exact same as any other 1 ounce of gold. It has to be,
I see what you're saying.
What's the economic term for it? There's a term, fungible. It's got to be fungible.
Funge?
Fungible. I think that's the word.
I think you're fudging that word up.
No, hold on. Is it fungible? Hold on, I got the...
Maybe fungible.
No?
Fummable?
I'm listening.
Fungible. I'm
Go to Google, Fungible. You can click the little button on
So
Google that's
fungible
pronounces
with a G.
Fungible.
With a J?
Yep.
Or a G?
G. I had it right. It's fungible.
Okay.
So what
It
would...
has to be fungible. I would think probably...
It'd have to be something easy, though. Like, I'm trying to think something easy.
I was thinking corn, but the problem with corn is it spoils after a little while.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. Plus, that would only be useful in areas with corn.
I would think oil. Oil
Yeah,
or gas.
that's my guess.
That's almost immediate.
Oil.
That's definitely got to be it.
Yeah, I would think...
Or is that
gas.
one that's too obvious?
That might be too obvious, because that already is a pretty big commodity.
Yeah.
Water?
No,
Too much?
Too much. Yeah. It's too hard to split it too. Well, I guess
I
you
would
could.
say rare metals.
Well, that's
Well,
gold.
that's
gold. Gold is a
and-
rare metal.
No.
Yeah, crackhead.
Other than gold.
That's exact saying. Eliminate those.
Yeah. Eliminate the obvious choices like that. What would be... I'm trying to think of like a household item like everybody would have, but some people might have more of, and some people would have
No,
less of.
you know what? I don't know if we could go back to just gold or whatever outside of...
I'm thinking that's the problem, is looking around the house, it's just like there's nothing really that would work besides that.
No, I don't think we could go back to it outside of international or within a community, right?
Yeah.
You could just appoint a couple central authorities, because we have writing and everything. Mm-hmm. You can just have them record what you owe another person, or this person has this much.
This much
you
what,
just-
though? You gotta compare it to somebody.
You just have one unit. It doesn't need
Credits?
any actual...
Just
Yeah,
like all
one
the future
credit.
things go to credits?
Yes. So if, money disappeared, it doesn't matter. And that's essentially what the system is now.
True.
Paper money doesn't matter.
That's actually a
that much
good point.
anymore.
You could just
You
appoint
just-
somebody who goes, alright, everybody has 100 credits. Mm-hmm. Or, whatever you would determine. Maybe a
You get,
poor person would be like, you get 5 credits, because you're a piece of shit.
Until you try to do international travel.
No, so you start with everybody gets 100 credits.
Uh-huh.
And then, somebody's going to pay somebody 5 credits for a job. They have 105 credits. People start accumulating credits.
Right.
The pieces of shit will get down to 0 credits because
Yeah.
they're not doing anything, but they're buying stuff.
Those-
But yeah, once you
Fucking
get to an
creditors.
outside community that doesn't use your credit system, then you gotta have gold. You have to have something like that. You don't know our system. You're not involved in our system.
So, what if you ran into another, let's say, tribe or whatever it would be at that time, and they're like, dude, we all started with 1,000 credits. Would you then have a flooded market of credits?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You can't do it. Some people started with 1,000,000 credits. And you started with 100, and it's no, you're not rich. A credit's not worth as much.
That's kind of funny, though, because that is just what happened to money, and that's why money's so confusing right now, because it's fucking numbers.
That's
Nothing
essentially
else.
what it is.
Yeah.
Other countries' currencies are just a number of credits, and then we have an exchange rate.
That's pretty much all the system we have now is credits. We just call it something else.
Yeah. But we have so many commodities, we can essentially say, well, gold in your credit system is this much. Gold in my credit system is this much. Therefore, the exchange rate must be this. I mean, it's very easy to work out that math.
Money's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Alright, so in summary, I need to get a job at a corporate place part-time.
I really want you to do
just
that,
to
by the way.
Just to fuck it up. And then
In fact, once I retire, my little plan, I might be doing the same thing just for fun.
and we'll go back and forth and share stories of, like, a contest of, like, alright, if you do this, I'll do this at my job.
Actually, part of my plan, so if I get to 40 or whatever, and I'm, like, at the point where I could retire right now,
Yeah.
I want to be in a corporate job that I've been in maybe 5 years. Like, and I have a good, solid reputation.
Uh-huh.
And what are you going to do?
And I want to see how far can I go before they fire me.
You go in office space it. Everybody wants to do that something.
Oh, if I'm ready to retire, I'm office spacing it. And then once they do fire me or lay me off, unemployment, baby! I'll leech that shit. I don't give a fuck.
I would too. That's my point. Like, I want to go, like, could I last the probation period? How funny would that be? I just thought of something. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I just thought of something as you were talking. I was talking about we'd have contests back and forth, and you brought up doing that. I can't fucking think of it. We need to do it, though. You're already set up to do it at some point in time.
Yeah, no,
I
I
just
will
have to
be
get a
doing
job.
this. I want to collect unemployment, and I need to get them to fire me to collect unemployment.
You sure it's a fire? Not
But if they fire
Whatever,
you
it's
for legitimate
every way.
reasons, you won't.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
hard
the
to
thing.
do, though.
You gotta walk that line, and I'm gonna walk that line as
Yeah.
fine as I can.
He came into work with his slippers.
One day he just decided to show up at work without pants.
There we go. Like, what would be some funny fucking things you could do? Oh, that's what I was thinking of. This podcast they have, they say, they have like their own lingo. And so they started people would do, prank calls or go through drive-thrus using the lingo. And like the big one they do is they always say, hello mommy, and thanks jeans. I mean, there's a whole background story to it, but just know that that's what they say. And it's so funny because they go up to drive-thru and they're like, hello, mommy, I'm just glassing here at the menu. Just glassing, yeah. I would like the Big Mac. You know what? I better get just the regular cheeseburger because Bert is fat. Alright, thanks, jeans. And it'll be like that. And people will, like, completely ignore all the weird fucking talk in between that. They'll even say, like, thanks, Hitler, sometimes. You're like, what?
Thanks, Hitler. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the great idea. That's, I think, the idea.
Yeah.
To get fired from the job without, like, to get laid off without being fired.
Just do weird shit like that. Just be weird.
Yeah. You gotta make it so that when they draw up the reasons they're letting you go, and they're like, we're gonna fire this people, they're like, no court in the world is gonna fucking believe this. Like, so if he sues us, and we have in there, he occasionally got up and started licking his desk. Like, he's gonna say, no, I didn't, that's insane.
He said thanks, jeans, to everybody, sometimes. Hitler.
They're doing it because they hate me, because they just don't want to pay me my unemployment.
Oh my god, that would be so fucking funny. Just look at my employment history. Do I look like a person that says fucking thanks, Hitler? Would I ever say that? Oh god, it's so perfect. We need to do this for real. Tomorrow I'm going to look up jobs online. The first thing is I got to get in the door.
I want to hear the next podcast is I can't believe I got hired, and I can't believe I still work there after only a few days.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I got to be really professional at the interview and maybe the first day. Like, orientation. And then, like, after that, just let it fucking go. Just be fucking weird the whole time. Like, how weird would it be, too, if, like, in the interview, you're just a completely normal person and then you just flip a switch.
Yeah. You're, like, totally on your A game. Like, this is the most serious person I've ever seen. And then your second day there, you drop the most acid you've ever done in your entire life.
Then the story of you will become, like, the top comment.
You'd be a
on
legend.
Reddit.
Oh, so when I said the Bert is fat thing, so Bert Kreischer is a comedian they have on the show all the time, and they had this big contest. Tom Segura is the other comedian. They had this big contest.
Oh, yeah, we watched him.
Yeah, he's a great comedian. They had this big Twitter war where they were making fun of each other, saying the other's fat, and they had a contest to like lose weight and stuff. So it was actually like a really like a funny thing that they did to actually lose weight. Well, anyways, Bert Kreischer, you remember the movie Van Wilder?
Yeah.
That movie's actually based on his actual life.
What?
Yeah.
He got some people to eat dog cum?
No, it was like a professional partier. Like, he actually got paid to go, like, party and stuff, and he was, I don't know, like, it was loosely based on the fact that he was...
I'm sorry, the only part I remember of Van Wilder is the pastry scene.
Well, Van Wilder was basically a guy who was in college for, like, 6 or 7 years or something ridiculous and just partied all the time. So it was based on this guy. Now, after we get off of here, look up Bert Kreischer, The Machine, and watch that video.
Bert Kreischer, The Machine.
Yeah.
All right.
Just Google it now, that way it's up. In fact, let me Google it so I make sure you watch the right one.
No, I got that.
It's like a very famous joke that he tells. In fact, you should just...
Mafia story?
Yeah. You should watch it just now. I want to watch it with you, because it's so fucking funny.
Okay.
Hold on. Did you just type in Bert Kreischer?
Joe Rogan Experience,
The Machine.
Russian Mafia story?
Yeah, hold on. You want to watch the right one, because there's one where like somebody animates it, or there's...
Okay.
Okay, so if you Google it, did it come up with the Russian Mafia story in a big YouTube? That's the best one by far.
Where is it?
Just Google Bert Kreischer,
the
The
animated
Machine.
one? Animated?
Yeah.
9 minutes and 26 seconds?
Yeah, that's about right. Hold on, let me get the same one with you. Alright, you ready? Click play. Oh god, it's so fucking funny. 9 minutes later.
That's
wonderful.
pretty crazy. That's basically my impression of Russia.
Dude, he posted it on Facebook, and people from his trip back then posted pictures of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a fucking
So
real
it's
story.
actually true?
Yeah, it's a real story.
How do I see these pictures?
Google. Hold on. Bert. Because I looked at him before.
Machine pictures.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, that's
It's a big fat dude standing with some Russians. Where is it at? I don't see it by typing that in. By typing
Where
in
can I
picture.
find? Here's Reddit. Here you go in the comments, of course. Yeah, here.
What was it at? Oh, the
There's
first
the very
link.
first link is Reddit.
Damn, he is a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you scroll down, the very first picture.
I just see like one picture.
Yeah, it looks like that's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
They're all drinking 40s.
So we should go to Russia, basically.
This story is so fucking funny, though. I am the machine. Alright.
Ending it here.
Peace out, bitches!